highway to health. First of all, we should know what is health. Health is nothing but it is the physical, mental and social well-being of a person. A person is called healthy when he is physically fit, his body is perfect, that is, he is not having any problem, a headache, a body pain or anything like that. When a person is mentally fit, that is, he is absolutely normal, he is very good in his day-to-day activities, his mind is sharp, his brain is working sharply, so everything is going properly. So these are all the factors that are important for health. Again, social health, social well-being. When a person is socially well, that is, he behaves properly with the society, with the family, that means the person is completely fit, that is, he is completely healthy. If he is physically, mentally and socially healthy, then only we can call that person as a healthy person, completely healthy person. Consider a drug addict, an alcoholic, a child with a fever, or a person who is mentally sick. Can you say that any one of this is healthy? Although a mentally sick person may be physically healthy, but it is somewhat related to his physical and mental health are somewhat related to each other. So this way we can't call these people as healthy. Even an alcoholic is not a healthy because his habits are not healthy, and this causes his body to be unhealthy, because of which he is socially unhealthy. That means he behaves, his nature becomes aggressive and he behaves rudely with people around him. So this will be this statement of health will be what? It is the physical, mental and social well-being of a person. If you see the community health, this is again an important part that you should consider. Community health is nothing but it is the health of the community that should be considered. For example, if we see the stagnant water around your residential area, then what will happen is, in that particular area, the mosquitoes will grow, and these mosquitoes will ultimately lead to malaria. Malaria, as we all know, it is an epidemic and it is communicable, it is transferred from one person to another. So this malaria is harmful to you also and to the society also, and ultimately the growth of the society will be reduced. So this way community health is again important. We should take care that we are hygienic and we are keeping the society also healthy and hygienic. Suppose if there is a suppose you are throwing the garbage out of the society directly nearby to your society, then what will happen is, there the organisms, the microorganisms will grow, and there can be diseases which can be waterborne, foodborne, airborne diseases. Jaundice, cholera, typhoid, these are all spread because of such habits of the person who are directly disposing the garbage in any place nearby. So this habits has to be avoided to maintain the community health. For example, there are various government bodies which take care of your society. There are NMMC, there is an MMC which takes care of the garbage, and proper disposal of the garbage is done in the area where this garbage is completely decomposed, and it can be used. The compost which is made by this can be used for various other purposes. So this decomposition is done far away from the society and far away from the city. So this helps in preventing the society to avoid diseases which are caused when we directly dispose the material nearby. So this way we should take care of the community while we are staying in the society. As we all are social, as human being is a social animal, we should consider that all of us have to stay together and all of us have to take care of each other. Then only the community will grow, and then only you and your health will be maintained. Then the factors which are essential for a good health. Factors are nothing but this has to be considered when you want to maintain a good health. The two main factors are the personal and the public health, and health is the economic and social factor. So if we see the personal health and the public health, in personal health we should understand that you should keep your body healthy and hygienic. That means your habits should be good. You should have a regular bath. You should keep your body on your body parts clean, so that the infections will not be take place, and you will certain infections are communicable, so that can be transferred from one person to another. For example, there can be certain skin diseases which can be caused because of your untidy habits, and these diseases can be transferred from one person to another. So you should take care of your personal hygiene as well. Then the public cleanliness. If you see the cleanliness, if you maintain the cleanliness in the society, then only your personal health will be maintained. So public cleanliness, as I have told you, the proper disposal of the garbage, the proper use of water, not throwing anything here and there. So these are all the habits which has to be avoided, and we should take care of the society as well. Then health is an economic and social factor. When you consider the economic condition of a person, it indicate that will show you how the person's health would be. That means economy of a person or the wealth of a person is directly related to health. If a person is economically fit, that means he can be physically healthy also, physically as well as mentally healthy. Ultimately, his physical health will be related to his social well-being. That means his behavior in the society will depend upon how healthy he is, whether mentally, physically or socially. So this economic and social factors are directly related to health. If a person is socially healthy, he is having a good social background, then only he can live in a good environment. His body will be healthy as per the requirement. Then diseases. If you see the disease, if you split this word, it is dis-ease. Dis means not and ease means not easy. That means a person is not able to carry his day-to-day activities regularly or day-to-day activities easily. So this is the condition wherein a person is not physically, mentally and socially well. If a person is suffering from any kind of diseases, he will either show a symptom or a sign which will indicate that there is something abnormal happening with him. There can be a pain in the body, there can be headache, there can be vomiting, there can be abnormal activities which are going on in your body. So this condition is called as disease. In disease, we can see that there are symptoms and signs of a disease. The symptoms of a disease can be the pain in the head. Now this pain in the head is subjective from person to person. For example, a pain in head can be because of the stress of the exams. It can be because of the eye defect. It can be because of the tumor also. So this headache is a symptom which is subjective. But if you consider the signs are completely objective. That means if you consider a case where if you see the blood pressure or the pulse rate, these are all the signs which indicates that if the blood pressure is going up and down, that means the person is having some abnormality. So signs are objective, whereas the symptoms are subjective from person to person. Like I have told you that headache can be because of various reasons to various people. It is not that headache is happening because of a particular disease or because of a particular problem. Similarly, the signs, if you see, they are objective. That means the blood pressure, the pulse rate, if you see the blood count, that will be objective. That means if there is any change in this, that means that the person is suffering from a particular kind of disease. So these are all the factors that we should consider. Then there are various types of diseases, that are the contagious diseases or the infectious diseases, and also the non-communicable diseases. So first of all, the diseases are divided based on the time and based on the cause. Based on time, we have two types of diseases. Based on time, we have the acute diseases and chronic diseases. The acute diseases are diseases which come for a short duration of time and go. For example, if you consider common cold is caused only when a person is facing some is in a cold climate or something like that, or in rainy season, there are chances that the person will suffer from cold. So this is the acute disease that comes for a short duration of time and goes. But the chronic diseases are diseases which are once come, they are for a long duration of time, or sometimes it is even till the person dies. So for example, if you consider the diabetes and the tuberculosis, these are the diseases which are there with the person lifetime. Diabetes is treated, but the treatment goes on till the person is alive. And even tuberculosis, if you see, the proper treatment has to be done, and it is a chronic disease which lives within the body for longer duration of time. So based on the time, we have two types of diseases, that is the acute disease and the chronic disease. Then the other type of disease that will be divided into based on the cause. Based on cause, again we have based on cause, we will be having infectious diseases or communicable, and non-infectious, that is non-communicable. Infectious diseases, if you see, the infectious diseases like the common cold, there can be the diseases which are caused from one person to another. Malaria, we can take example of. These are all the infectious diseases which are caused because of a pathogen. It can be a bacteria, it can be a virus, or any microorganism. The microorganisms which are transferred from one person to another. So this is called as infectious diseases because they are transferred from one person to another. That is, if you consider common cold, the virus which is responsible for it is rhinovirus. And if a person comes in contact with the unhealthy person who is suffering from common cold, then he will also get infected by that virus, and then he will also suffer from common cold. So this way, common cold is an infectious disease which is transferred from one person to another. And non-infectious diseases are diseases which remain with the person himself. For example, there is arthritis, there are certain diseases which like cancer, these or diabetes. These are non-infectious diseases. They are not because of the microorganism, but they are because of some physical or some chemical factors. For example, if you consider the diabetes, it is because of the unbalanced insulin in the body. So this will be because of the chemical factor. Also, if you consider cancer, there can be chances that the cancer is because of certain harmful chemicals, and that will be to that particular person only. Cancer is non-communicable, it will not be transferred from one person to another. So cancer comes in the category of non-infectious diseases. So based on the cause, we have two types of diseases. Infectious diseases which are caused because of the pathogen, and non-infectious diseases which are not caused because of the pathogen. It can be some physical or it can be some chemical factor into it. For example, if you take infectious diseases, what will happen is, the pathogen which is there, the pathogen can be any organism, it can be a bacteria, virus, a protozoa, or algae, or fungal diseases are also there which causes the infections in your skin. So these are all because of the pathogens, and pathogen is nothing but it is the harmful organism which invades your body and causes diseases. So these are the types of diseases based on the cause, and based on the time we have seen chronic diseases and acute diseases.
Choose the right kindergarten, a right bag, and matching bottle to go with. The right school, the right friends. Choose the right subjects and score well. Be an expert in all. The right teacher, and make sure that they like you. Choose the right timing, the right bus, and take a cab if getting late. The right train, and don't stand near the gates. Mind the pockets. Better get into ladies' compartment. Make sure your mustache hasn't started coming. Choose the right study time and forget games. IPL, IHL, rock and metal, guitar, axe. The right group, and be a model to your brother. Seriously. Choose the right syllabus, the right test paper. Keep guessing questions for exams. Choose the right branch, the right college, the right stream. Choose the right career. Lucky to have a father's business to take care of and a father to allow that. The right counselor, the right form, and make sure the project is submitted on time. Choose the right website and rely on your friends for more information. Oblivious of the sites they have been to, there is no end to your woes. Getting better with every step you climb up the ladder. The summer vacation shorter, the bucket list bigger. The night darker, the books heavier. The only light you have is your friends ahead of you. Probably he is right. Ever thought how he got the direction? No more spending your energy and money on coaching classes. No more missing classes for rain, rally, and nonsense. Get your interest back in subjects through our creative ways of teaching. Doubts, concepts, applications, all explained through one vibrant animation. Subjects covered by multiple teachers with repeat telecasts. Special programs only for basic foundation and paper analysis. Personality development, career counseling, admissions, hobbies, all covered. A new approach to study with long-term perspective. So sit back comfortably in your homes and watch Study Spectrum TV channel.
The next part that we need to study is the means of spread of diseases. There are various means by certain diseases are caused. For example, if you take an airborne disease, what will happen is when a person is suffering from a disease, when he sneezes, the droplets nuclei will be thrown out along with the water which will be thrown during the sneezing. So what happens is when a person comes in contact with this person, suppose in a crowded area, if a person is standing, then he sneezes and he does not use his handkerchief or something like that, then what will happen is then those droplets nuclei will be transferred to the person who is standing nearby. Otherwise, if a person is in a normal area where there is no one around him, then what happens is these are evaporated and then transmitted through the air. Now these evaporated droplets, once a person inhale, then these droplets which will be containing the virus or the pathogen which is causing the disease, these will be inhaled by the healthy person and then the person will suffer from the disease. So this way the disease is transferred from one person to another because of the droplet nuclei which are be transferred during the sneezing of a person who is suffering from a viral or any contagious disease. Then there are certain factors which we should consider for the prevention of infectious diseases. To prevent the infectious diseases, we need to take into consideration the various parts like the first one is the balanced and the healthy diet. The person who wants to be healthy should always have a balanced and a healthy diet. If he is not having a balanced and a healthy diet, then he will suffer from diseases. For example, there are people who eat a particular kind of food only. For them, what happens is the protein deficiency diseases are there. There are diseases which are vitamin deficiency diseases, mineral deficiency diseases are there. So a person who is there should always have a balanced diet that contains all the nutrients. For example, the calcium, the iron, the potassium ions, or these are all the minerals which are required for the body for performing the various functions. Also, the various nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, the balance has to be maintained for these all factors also. A person who will not have fat will have his body will not be properly insulated and he will suffer from cold easily. A person who is not having proper carbohydrates, he will be having the lack of energy. A person who is not having certain proteins, then he can suffer from protein energy malnutrition and so on. So these are all the deficiency diseases which are caused because the person is not having a proper balanced diet. So balanced diet is an important factor that should be considered. Also, it should be healthy. A healthy diet is again important. There are people who eat outside food, but to what extent they should eat it and from where? A person who has no option but to eat from outside, or when you are outside you have to have the outside food only. You can't carry always the amount of food that you require when you're going for longer tours. So there what we should take into consideration is that the food which you are taking should be made in a healthy and hygienic condition, and it should not contain the microorganisms. It should not be stale or it should not be kept for longer duration of time. It should not be exposed to insects and the various microorganisms. So it should be properly closed and kept in a hygienic condition. So making in a hygienic condition, keeping and storing in a hygienic condition, and it should be kept till the shelf life is there. If the shelf life is gone, then the food should not be consumed over the shelf life. So balanced and healthy diet is an important factor that we should consider while having the food. Then rest and exercise. The person who want to be healthy should always have a proper rest. A person who will not get the proper rest at night will be having an unhealthy environment, or will be suffering from stress issues, and then ultimately his health will be affected. Exercise is again important. A lethargic, dull, lazy person can suffer from diseases like diseases because of the obesity, because of the fat deposition. So these all habits has to be properly maintained, and exercise has to be properly done. It should not be that a person is only eating and not working. So then the person will be suffering from various heart diseases, can suffer from the various diseases which will be harming his body. Then having proper brush and bath. Proper brushing your teeth regularly, that is twice a day, has to be done, and bathing has to be done properly so that the infections which are there on your skin can be easily removed. Also, it says that the bathing helps in the circulation of your body, so it is again an important factor for you for preventing the health. Then washing hands. Whenever you are doing some activity, whenever you are going somewhere out, whenever you are having food, before having food, after going to toilet, it is important that you should wash hand, because the material which you come in contact with can contain certain organisms which while having food can enter into your stomach and can cause diseases. This is how the foodborne diseases have been transferred from one person to another. Also, the diseases which are waterborne are being transferred because of drinking unhealthy water in an unhealthy utensils. So it should be proper, and your washing hands should be properly done before having food and after going to the toilets or washrooms. Then using handkerchief. Using handkerchief is again an important part, that is whenever a person is suffering from cough and cold, so during sneezing at least he should have a handkerchief so that his mouth is completely covered, and the person who is nearby him will not suffer from the disease which he is suffering from. So to avoid the transmission of the infectious diseases, a person should use handkerchief before while sneezing. Avoid tobacco and its products. Tobacco, as we all know, that it contains nicotine, which will be harmful for the body, and it will be causing certain respiratory tract diseases. Also, cancer like oral cancer is caused because of the tobacco. So tobacco has to be avoided. Tobacco consumption has to be avoided. Then the last part is to avoid the fast food. We usually have the habit of having the fast food from outside, so the fast food has to be avoided because it is unhealthy and it is not good for the health. It contains a lot of fats which can be deposited in your body and can cause the arteriosclerosis or diseases of heart. So these are all the diseases which are caused, and we should prevent them considering these all factors for the prevention of the diseases. Then the next part that we should know is the principles of prevention. There are various principles which has to be taken into consideration for prevention. The first principle is keep away from infections. The person who is suffering from disease will already be having an immune problem in the immune system. The immune system will already be lowered, so that person should keep away from the infections. Also, a healthy person should take care that he should not get infected by infections. So he should be healthy, he should be hygienic and keep his body healthy as per these points. Then proper and sufficient food. Proper and sufficient food is always required to have a healthy life. For example, the food which you take should have a balanced food, that is balanced diet. All the nutrients should be included in your diet, and it should be sufficient enough. It should be sufficient enough to fulfill your needs, to fulfill your day-to-day activities, to give you proper energy to perform your day-to-day activities. So these are all the factors which you should consider. Again, immunization is one more factor. There are certain diseases which needs initial immunization. For example, you must be knowing that oral drops for polio are given to kids below 5 years of age. This is a part of immunization. That is, the polio drops are given before the infection is caused, so that the person will not suffer from infection in future. So these are all the factors that we should consider. Again, immunization for various diseases like the DTP and all is done at the birth of the child only, so that that child will not suffer from any infections in future. So the principles for prevention of diseases are: keeping away from the infections. The person should keep himself healthy and should be away from the infections, should not eat unhealthy food, should not go in unhealthy environment, should avoid overcrowded area, because in overcrowded area there are chances that people are around you which will be suffering from some or other diseases. Then proper and sufficient food is important, because the food which you consume should be proper and it should be sufficient enough to fulfill your energy requirements. Then immunization has to be done. Certain diseases which needs immunization, like I've told you, DTP, polio, these are all the these are all the vaccines which are already available, and you should take it when the child at the birth of the child.